Hey guys, Jonah here, back with a beer review. And yeah, you know what beer it is. You've read the title to this, but I am going to do a review of this. The Brewdog Black Heart Draught Stout. So it's not their Jet Black Heart, it's the Black Heart. They've really been promoting this lately as a kind of Guinness replacement. 4.1% Black Heart, etc., etc. Brewed in Ellen, 21st century stout. They've taken pictures outside the the Guinness brewery in Dublin. God knows why, but this is really trying. At least in the supermarkets and the main chains in the UK, this is trying to challenge Guinness. Um, Other stouts, other draft stouts are available. My absolute favourite, which you can't get anymore, is Beamish, um, taken over by Heineken a few years ago. You can only get it in Ireland. You can't get it in the UK, or it's incredibly difficult to get in the UK. But Brewdog has kind of challenged the Guinness with this bad boy, and I have had a couple of these previously. This one had sitting in the fridge because the first one really kind of over frothed out of the can, but it does not have a nitro widget in there. Not sure if they packaged it with a little charge of nitrogen in there, but definitely doesn't have the widget. Now I've got to be a bit careful about this. I do have a kind of Guinness unbranded glass. So let me give this a go. If I was proper, I would try and get that on camera, but no. Okay, so let's get this in quickly as I possibly can, because usually if this was a Guinness, you would have that kind of upside down kind of whirlpool thing going along. And no, none of that at all. The head is not very big, under a finger's head. It is kind of reminiscent of a Guinness head. It's that creamy kind of, if it will focus on the actual head, not sure if it will or not. Sometimes it does. There we go. We have a combination of very tiny bubbles and also some big bubbles. So that's why I was thinking perhaps it does have a little bit of nitrogen in, but not a sort of charge. And other people have used the Guinness Surger, that sort of weird device, with this beer, to try and promote some extra sort of stuff, but it's a bit kind of flat. It ain't Guinness, put it that way. But does it taste like Guinness? Well, the simple answer is no. But we'll see what we get. I'll see if I can describe what's happening. So on the nose, I'm getting roastness, roast malt, perhaps a touch of kind of coffee aroma as well. Burnt candy, perhaps. It's a roasty kind of aroma, which is not surprising because it's a stout, 4.1, which is the same as normal Guinness, draft Guinness, I should say. Other versions are available. Let us dive in and we will see what we get. Oh, so as I would normally do with the Guinness, take quite a deep charge of beer. And because I've chilled it down, not so much roastiness. When you don't chill these down, There's definitely that roastiness there, and I'm getting it now. I'm getting the bitterness from the roasted malts. It's like the bitterness you get from coffee, but it's quite thin. So you're getting that taste as though there was some grittiness, some chewiness stuff going on, but yeah, the substance is a little bit lacking, a little bit thin, should I say. The other thing is it's not as creamy. Guinness, well, especially Beamish, was really creamy. I like that. And I would say this is probably, taste-wise, with the roastiness, nearer Beamish than Guinness, but it does not have that creaminess, which is really unfortunate. Um, it's a bit watery. There is another beer that some people have, um, which is the Murphy's Stout. And that one is reasonably thin as well. So it's kind of somewhere in between of all the stouts, but it is not a Guinness clone at all. This does not taste like Guinness. A lot more kind of roasty, a lot more bitter, and it doesn't have the creaminess. It's a bit thin, in my opinion. It's a lot closer to. See, Murphy's is a bit sweeter. It's weird. I'd say it's slightly more like Beamish because it's got the taste, but it's not as creamy, so it's a little bit more watery, which is like the Murphy's, but not like Guinness, definitely. Drinkable, yeah, definitely. Because it's very watery, you can drink, and it's only 4.1. You can really drink these pretty quick, um, which is one of the reasons I reckon that Guinness is one of the staples in the pub because it's quite light. It's not a 5% beer. It's only just over a foot. It was a little bit stronger back in the old days, but it's 4.1 now. Um, and so's this. You can drink this really quickly, not even feel it. Um, but it's just that bitterness in the taste, um, the overly bitterness. Um, it's a little bit like an espresso coffee, kind of, in its bitterness. And that's why an espresso is very small because you just boom, done. You do not drink a pint of it. Um, and I think this is obviously chilled because it's been in the fridge for a while. But I'm pretty sure at room temperature, the bitterness is a lot more pronounced. And it's to the point when it's like, whoa. I had to put mine down, set it on the side, leave it for a few minutes, then come back to it. I couldn't have drunk it all in one go. Whereas now that it's in the fridge, I'm drinking it pretty quickly. Hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder how they've done that. The other thing is, um, obviously this has been in the fridge, but where are my tide lines? There's a sort of ring there that looks like a kind of big bubble, but there's no actual set lines on here, which is, yeah, bit disappointing. You know me, I like my tide lines on the glass. You can see on the back, this is the side I've been drinking from. Um, you can see the head here falling down the side of the glass, moving reasonably quickly. And unfortunately, that's kind of what's happening on the front. It's left a little bit on here, but there's no set lines. Boom, boom, boom. Which you would get with a really good pint of Guinness, i.e., definitely one in the pub, but you would yeah, you would get it from the Draught, especially the nitro Draught. You definitely get those. Head-wise, there is still, if you look on there, okay, there is still a bit of a head, which is good. Head lasting to the bottom of the glass is always a really, really good thing for me. Boom. There we go. Bottom of the glass. There is still head there. The only thing is, yeah, no set tide lines. Got some weird sort of traces on the side of the glass. And this glass was cleaned very well, but yeah, I'm not sure. The other thing to say, and I can now turn this sideways. There you go, 21st century stout. Gives it all the kind of stuff, all the Japanese stuff. Which who owns Brewdog? Are they still owned by themselves, or have they sold out to someone? Maybe it's a Japanese company from the look of things. I am not so good at these things these days. But yeah, very, very interesting. Brewdog Black Heart. It's a stout. They have done a nitro stout. Other Brewdog stouts, of course, are available. However, is it a replacement for Guinness? No, not in my opinion. If you love Brewdog, if you are a shareholder, or if you have yeah, if you have a vested interest in being a Brewdog drinker, and I know there are some of you out there that you really love the Brewdog, this one is definitely one for you. It is not bad. Don't think it is bad. It is good. It is a good, I wouldn't say it's nitro, but it is a good draft stout. However, is it going to replace Guinness anytime soon? No. And for me personally, Beamish is just the stuff of just my dreams. There used to be a pub. Well, there used to be two pubs in a row. One of them served Murphy's, and one of them served Beamish. And obviously Guinness you can get anywhere. And I remember we used to go into the Murphy's place, because that was the place we always used to drink in. The Druid's Head, if you want to know, in Kingston upon Thames. Yeah, the Druid's Head bar, which is still there, but it's part of a different brewery. It's part of a different bigger place, the Hog's Head. However, the bar that we used to drink in is still there, and we go in there sometimes, especially when I'm thinking, usually around Christmas time or something like that, when I'm thinking reminiscent of the old days, 20, 30 years ago when we started drinking, we used to go in there. But the one down the road served Beamish, and oh, absolutely lovely, lovely stuff. Yeah, and we were sport for choice. Not sure if you can get Murphy's that easily these days. And like I said before, Beamish itself, which is bought by Heineken, is incredibly difficult to get if you're not in yeah, in Ireland. I don't know. Even if you go up into central London to some of the specific bars, I doubt whether you can get Beamish very easily. Dear viewer, if you think you can find Beamish anywhere in the UK on draft, you know, you can get it in cans, maybe from a bottle shop if you're really lucky. Let me know where in the UK can you find Beamish on draft, and I will definitely be there. This has been Uncle Jonah, drinking Brewdog beers, so you guys don't have to. I'll be back with more beer reviews real soon, and we'll definitely be drinking. Well, if I can find some, I'll be drinking some Beamish, but I'll be drinking Guinness. I love that stuff, and it's so easy to get. It is my stout of choice, although yeah, there are other ones that you can have. This has been Uncle Jonah. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We'll be back real soon.